Imagine this dot holds 1 million barrels of oil. These dots represent daily global oil consumption. Now take a step back and this represents the yearly worldwide usage. Impressive, right? Now, consider a single company producing a staggering amount, equivalent to this entire dot. Meet the largest oil company in the world, a powerhouse shaping the global energy landscape. That's the scale and impact we're talking about. The company is Saudi Aramco. Officially known as the Saudi Arabian Oil Company, is a state-owned multinational petroleum and natural gas company based in Dhahran of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Aramco has navigated through a roller coaster of challenges and triumphs, transforming from producing a modest 4,000 barrels per day to an astounding 12 million barrels per day. Join me as we delve into the fascinating twists and turns that have shaped the extraordinary success story of Saudi Aramco. Saudi Arabia was a tribal and nomadic society on the Arabian Peninsula. Ottoman rule touched some areas, but the Hijaz region, home to Mecca and Medina, had local Sharifian rulers. The Wahhabi movement, aiming for a purer Islam, gained traction in Central Arabia. The House of Saud aligned with the Wahhabis but faced challenges. The British had interests in the region, especially concerning oil. In September 23, 1932, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia was established under Abdulaziz al Saud. The journey begins in 1933 with a concession agreement signed between Saudi Arabia and a U.S.-based company named Standard Oil Company of California, known as SoCal. After signing the agreement, a subsidiary company was created to manage the agreement, and the company was named as the California Arabian Standard Oil Company (KSAC). Later on, the company was renamed as Arabian American Oil Corporation on 31 January 1944. After that, Saudi Arabia granted permission to explore oil on the eastern coast in Al-Hassa. After 3 years of relentless exploration, they decided to team up and sold a 50% stake of the concession to Texaco Company in 1936. It was a game-changing moment in the early days of Saudi Arabia's oil industry, as they were able to hit oil on 7th drill site in 1938. And the well was referred as Dammam No. 7 as the oil production surged, reaching an impressive 1,500 barrels per day. The project gained momentum. Witnessing this remarkable progress, workers were inspired and they enthusiastically embarked on constructing a pipeline to the sea, aiming to streamline and expedite oil transportation. In 1939, the company achieved a major milestone by loading its first shipment of oil, destined for the global market. Fast forward to today, Aramco's oil has become the powerhouse fueling cars, planes, and industries around the world. And with the rapid growth and demand of oil around the world, the company managed to produce about 500,000 barrels crude oil per day in 1949. By this time, the company was still under the ownership of U.S. And in 1950, King Abdulaziz threatened to nationalize his country's oil facilities, thus pressuring Aramco to agree to share profit 0 to 50 with Saudi Arabia. The 50-50 profit-sharing agreement was formalized in 1951, giving Saudi Arabia a greater share of the revenues generated from oil production. This marked a significant step in the direction of increased economic benefits for the Saudi government. In 1960, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, was founded by oil-producing nations, including Saudi Arabia. The organization aimed to coordinate and unify petroleum policies among its member countries to secure fair and stable prices for petroleum producers. And things went worse for US in 1973. During the Fourth Arab-Israeli War, US was supporting Israel, which makes OPEC countries upset. So, they decided to cut the supply of oil in US. And the conflict between the OPEC countries and US leads to lose of 25% ownership from US and acquired by Saudi Arabia. And later they increased the stake to 60%, making them the majority stakeholder. And in 1976, Saudi Arabia made a significant move by acquiring remaining 40% of the company, making them the solo owner of the company. Fast forward to the 1980s, and they took things to the next level by officially establishing the Saudi Arabian Oil Company, also known as Saudi Aramco. It's like they went from being part owners to saying, "Yep, this company is all ours now." And in late 1980s, under the leadership of its first president Ali Al-Naimi, it builds global alliances and partnership deals. And in 1989 to 1990, high-quality oil and gas were discovered in 3 areas in south of Riyadh. And by 1990s the company began to invest more in research and development to expand into non-metallic and crude-to-chemicals products. Amin H. Nasser was the lead executive of the company at that time. The company also bought up refineries across North America and all through Asia to improve the processes involved in obtaining finished product. As the calendar flipped to the 2000s, Saudi Aramco had become a powerhouse on the world stage. And by 2004, the company was producing 8.6 million barrels per day, and in 2005 they launched a 5-year plan to invest $50 billion to increase their daily production to 12.5 million barrels per day by increasing number of drilling rigs. The need for oil was soaring, especially from countries like India and Korea who couldn't get enough. This crazy demand caused the price of oil to shoot up like a rocket. In 2008, the US dollar faced challenges due to economic uncertainties and the global financial crisis, contributing to the increase in oil prices.
Because of the dollar's decline, oil prices are moving up.
The price of oil hit an all-time high, reaching a whopping $147 per barrel. It was like a blockbuster movie where the demand for oil took center stage, and the price tag hit levels that were off the charts. Saudi Aramco became the largest company in the world with estimated market value of $781 billion. As the company was becoming big, the Deputy Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud planned to sell 5% of Saudi Aramco to the public offering. He was counting on IPO to generate fund to help diversify Saudi's economy away from oil.
Saudi authorities have been talking for the last year for an IPO.
But the announcement of the company valuation of $2 trillion sent shockwaves throughout the world, leaving everyone astonished and intrigued by the magnitude of the revelation. It is double than the valuation of some of the largest companies in America like Apple and Microsoft. Right from the start, there was a bit of a tug-of-war between Saudi Aramco's perceived value and what investors thought. The company was aiming for a grand $2 trillion valuation, but many investors raised an eyebrow and saw it more in the range of $1.1 trillion to $1.7 trillion. It was like a negotiation where both sides were trying to figure out the right price tag for this oil giant. And the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman decided to take a pause and postpone the IPO. On September 24, 2019, a devastating event unfolded within the company when 2 of its largest plants were targeted in a drone attack. This unfortunate incident resulted in a significant 5% cut in the world's oil supply. It was a sudden and impactful development, altering the course of the global oil landscape and posing challenges for both the company and the world at large. The IPO announcement faced a setback due to this incident. And by the close of 2019, Saudi Aramco proceeded with its initial public offering IPO, putting 1.5% of its estimated $1.7 trillion value up for grabs in the stock market. It was a significant financial move, even amidst the challenges posed by the earlier event, marking a key chapter in Aramco's journey. After the listing of IPO, the company was able to raise about $29.4 billion, beating the record $25 billion raised by Alibaba in 2014. And by surpassing Apple on May 11, 2022, Saudi Aramco became the largest company in the world by market cap. Saudi Aramco plays main role in maintaining global oil production stability during times of economic and geopolitical challenges. Saudi Aramco, being a major player within OPEC, Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, has often played a crucial role in coordinating with other oil-producing nations to stabilize oil prices and ensure a balanced global oil market. When the world was suffering from COVID-19, The demand for oil was low, so on April 9, 2020, OPEC agreed to historic production cuts, with Saudi Arabia announcing its intention to voluntarily reduce its oil production by an additional 1 million barrels per day, beyond its agreed-upon quota. In a subsequent meeting on June 6, 2020, OPEC extended the production cuts to July 2020, signaling a commitment to rebalancing the market.
OPEC ministers have agreed to an extra 1.5 million barrels a day cut in oil production.
In times of economic downturns or crises, Saudi Aramco's actions within the framework of OPEC agreements have played a crucial role in supporting oil prices and maintaining a level of stability in the global energy market. This aspect of the company's role in global oil dynamics is important to highlight in the narrative. As Aramco cruises along its path to success, it's not all smooth sailing. The world's growing interest in clean and green energy is throwing challenges at traditional oil and gas companies like Aramco. With environmental rules tightening and a push for cleaner energy, Aramco feels the heat. But hey, the Saudis are not sitting by. They are involved in diverse and interesting initiatives. Aramco venture a $1.5 billion sustainability fund that helps Aramco to achieve net zero Scope 1 and 2 greenhouse gas emissions across its wholly owned operated assets by 2050. They are also focused on carbon management, utilization and storage, including direct air capture, which was announced in 2023 and said to be completed by 2024, renewables and energy storage, greenhouse gas emission detection and reduction, energy efficiency, digital solutions and many more. In a nutshell, Aramco is not just about oil anymore. They're stepping up to the green challenge, proving that even giants can dance to the clean energy beat. If you want to know more about how Saudi Arabia is building NEOM project, then click here. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe.